It's Wednesday night. We're halfway to Friday.
Funny story about that, real quick. I know we usually do our thing, but earlier today I was with my son, and I said to him, I'm like, "Why aren't you at work?" And he goes, "It's Wednesday." I was like, "It's Wednesday?" Because he doesn't work Wednesdays. He's like, "It's Wednesday." I was like,
We've
"Oh crap,
totally
it's
lost track
Wednesday."
of time.
Right.
We're burning the candle at both ends. We are. We are.
Absolutely.
So hi guys, welcome to Fempreneur True Confessions podcast. We started a little differently today, didn't we? Hey, we like to shake it up and keep you
Right.
guys on your toes.
You want to know
That's
all of
right.
our things, our movements, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
So, hi everyone. I'm Laura. As you know, I'm Oda, and I own a small virtual assistant agency where we're here to help you in your business build and grow with confidence. So, taking care of those things behind the scenes that really need to get taken care of, but you probably don't like to do, or maybe you like to do or don't want to. We're here to help out with that. So, or not even time. So, yeah, that's what we're
Awesome.
here for. And
I'm super distracted by your fingernails. They look really good. Your nails
oh,
look really
thank
cute. And I'm Angelique. I'm Lady Powerhouse Solutions, and we are a small but mighty heart centered approach to offering project and event management for women entrepreneurs who are on fire and lighten up the world with their passion and drive. And we help them achieve their missions in the most authentic way possible.
you. Yes. So that together makes us Fempreneur True Confessions podcast.
Yes.
And as we've discussed, our mission here is to empower women in business, to live authentically, to support each other, to not compete, to open their minds to what the world would look like if we didn't say, "Oh, sorry, I can't help you," because we're scared to. Or, we're concerned with the competition or what's going on. So that non compete and that ability to just be like, look, hey, I have some answers for you. I can help. And
Hmm.
it's okay to need that help. And thank you
Hmm.
for coming to me and being able to have that normalization and live authentically that way. Because if I lied and said I never needed help, that would be crazy. So, yeah, we are here to definitely make sure that we are empowering women to live that way, and we show that ourselves through our relationship with each other and through our businesses and our personal relationships. And we're super excited to hear about the women around the world that are also doing this to empower women in business. So,
Yeah, creating this community of like-minded female entrepreneurs where we're modeling what it looks like, normalizing what it looks like to share the challenges that we face and the lessons we've learned, and having a common goal of just lifting other women up and not tearing them down and normalizing what it looks like when women succeed at supporting each other. I mean, I get really super excited about that. Helping other women build up their confidence, encouraging each other to use our gifts and passions to fulfill our life's calling. So we're really here every week to build, maintain, and grow this sisterhood that is all on the same page with that abundance mindset.
it's like you wanted to cuss but didn't. Good.
Well, if I wanted to, I would have. It's like my
Right.
mouth, my mouth and my brain are not connected. But we're all about sharing these challenges because I think it's important for us as female entrepreneurs to realize that we're not alone in what we're struggling with, what we're being challenged by, and that we have other female entrepreneurs out there that will help us, encourage us, and are I'm struggling for the words, but basically just not out there to stab you in the back.
Mhm.
Because I don't know of anybody else, but that's been my experience, especially in corporate. And so instead, we just want to demonstrate and model what it looks like when we help each other. And that's how we get to our highest level, right?
Absolutely. And we have another amazing woman here who is
Yes.
here to do the same. She's here to share her story. And her name is, see, we said it beforehand, and now I'm going to screw that.
No, you're not. It's going to be
Gordana
perfect. It's going to be perfect.
Sretenovic. All right.
Perfect. Yeah, that was
There
actually
we go.
perfect.
Gordana is a co-founder of Workello, a pre-hire assessment platform designed to help companies hire the top 1% of writers. Previously, she worked as the head of content at Content Distribution, where she led a team of 45 writers and editors. She's dedicated to developing content operation systems, helping her customers grow their organic traffic, and publishing high quality content on at scale. So, welcome. Glad to have
Yeah,
you.
that's thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me, and I'm super excited to chat about stuff
Yeah, we're super
today.
excited to have you here. And Gordana is in Serbia.
Yes.
I am. It's
It
very
is
late
almost
here,
1 o'clock in the
actually.
morning
So
there.
if I
So
like do some like yawning, I apologize.
I feel guilty for yawning, and it's like not
Fine
even
too.
dinner time yet.
It's like
Well,
a
not
normal
dinner
human
time, but
function.
I know it's
Oh,
super late for her. So
see, it just happened.
okay, we'll just keep
Like
passing
as
it.
soon as you mention it, you start doing it,
Hmm.
and so I'm not gonna mention it anymore.
Exactly.
So, Gordana, we didn't talk about this before we went on, but what is your age range? You don't have to say specifically if you don't want to, but I'm just curious because you look so
Oh,
young.
I can. Oh, thank you. I have a good dermatologist. I'm actually 33.
You're
I'm
very
not
young.
like super young, but also not super old. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Honestly, like my career didn't really kick off until I was 29, which I think is interesting because you're always taught that, oh, unless you do everything by the age of 25, you're a loser, which is definitely I kind of fell
Wow.
victim to that as well. But it's like never too late, I guess. I mean, not like I'm super old or anything, but it's just if you're in your 20s and you still don't know what you're doing, it's completely fine. You will
Absolutely.
figure it out.
I mean,
Like just give
gosh,
yourself time.
I'm in my 50s and I'm still figuring shit out. You
Oh,
know what I'm
wow.
saying?
That question of what do I want to be when I'm an adult or grown up or
I'm
if
still
that
figuring
ever
it out. So don't no pressure,
Yeah.
man. Let's release
Yeah,
that.
that's what people keep saying. They should. They should. And that's what everyone tells me as well. It's like, oh, what am I gonna do when I'm like 40 or 50? What is my life going to look like? And pretty much everyone I know who's around that age is like, I don't even know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
so you'll be fine.
And
Yeah.
especially in this day and age, like it can change in a heartbeat.
Mhm.
So fast, yeah, and we're seeing it right now with AI and everything. The whole industry has changed so much. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting, but also kind of scary to,
Yeah.
live through that
Ch-
and have to adjust
Yep.
everything that
Change
you
is
know.
hard. But
Yeah.
if we don't, like, and I know
It
I've said
is,
this
it is.
before, if we don't change, if we're not, you know,
Yeah, we're not
yeah, we're not
growing.
growing. If things aren't a little hard, if you're not challenging yourself somewhere,
Yeah,
Mhm.
falling down, getting back up again,
true.
right? So speaking of falling down and getting back
Yeah.
up again. So the title of this episode is what is the title again? I said it right
Building
before
and
we
bouncing back.
building and bouncing back.
Building and bouncing back.
And this is one of the things that happens. Okay, I'm just saying. It's adult onset ADD.
This is why we don't know what we want to do in our 40s and 50s because we can't remember most things.
Can't remember. But and the reason I called it that is because one of the things you mentioned wanting to talk about was building a business from ground zero, right? And then
Yeah.
also
Hmm.
bouncing back from when you make mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what? So you
Absolutely.
mentioned that your career didn't really start till you were 29. So what was your beginning entrepreneur journey like for you?
Yeah, so it was kind of I honestly kind of stumbled upon it to be 100% honest with you. I was a freelance writer for several, it's a pretty long time, my entire 20s. And I just thought like, okay, this is what I'll be doing. Like, I guess it's my thing. I'm just a writer, but I didn't know how to take that next step and develop that business. And then I met my now business partner, Nick, and we just started this content agency together. I mean, he started it, I kind of joined as a first employee, and we very quickly realized that we can actually take it to the actual next level. And, we started hiring people, we got some really good clients, and we developed this amazing, amazing team. And it really became something that I was not expecting. And I was kind of in this leadership role now that I never even wanted. Honestly, I was not looking for it, it just came to me. And then our third co-founder joined, and he's also amazing. So it's just been kind of like a learning experience ever since then. Every time you think you have something figured out, it turns out, okay, well, now you have this other thing that you need to worry about.
Yeah.
So it is very exciting, but it's just ups and downs all the time. And after a couple of years of the agency, we decided to start our SaaS business, which is Workello, which is a
And
tool
hold
that we
on, for those
created.
who don't know what SaaS
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. It's a software as a service. So it's an entire category of software and services, I guess, online. So think I don't know what a lot of people use, like Notion, for example, the note taking app, or um, wow, my mind is kind of blanking right now,
That's okay. We
but
get it.
there are lots. You probably use a lot of them. And we created it, first of all, because we wanted to get into the SaaS world, but secondly, because we actually needed it in our content agency to hire writers, to hire editors, to hire marketers, everyone else. And so it's all kind of been organic, honestly, which is nice. And I love it. And I guess the nice part is that I wasn't really kind of seeking it out and going after it and looking for it, but it just happened. And you kind of have to figure out things on the spot, which, keeps you on your toes,
Yeah.
I guess, and keeps you fresh. So that's kind of like the short version of the journey, and of course it's continuing on, and hopefully one day it's we're a household name,
That's
but we're
awesome.
not there yet, obviously.
Well, and
Yeah.
so for in the beginning, starting from, from scratch, what were some of the
Yeah.
challenges that you faced that and overcame, or you completely
Mhm.
failed at, but you learned a valuable lesson? What are
Yeah.
some of those lessons that maybe you feel are worth sharing?
Yeah, so if I can influence one person to do this, I would be happy. The very kind of first problem really we realized that we were having is also a problem that a lot of marketing agencies have, and that is the lack of systems. They just,
Mm,
I mean, they're doing like a good job, but they're kind of flowing, through the motions, and they do everything on a one-off basis. And that's all well and good, but excuse me. But if you actually don't have the system that is going to allow you to repeat the success over and over again and for different clients,
mhm.
and that you don't depend on one person or one type of project or one type of content or whatever, um, you can do anything. So that was the first thing, was just building something from honestly nothing, because we had zero documentation. It was just the two of us. It was, we worked with freelance writers, and I was editing everything. And so we spent quite a lot of time documenting every single process that we had, everything that we were doing for those initial couple of clients. And I think that really saved us a lot of time. Um, Also, it was people management. I came into it hiring a team. I had no idea what I was doing, it was the first time I hired anyone. It was the first time I had to manage someone. I was responsible for someone's, livelihood. And
Yeah.
that's kind of a lot of pressure, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure. So you kind of have to perform on all fronts and keep those people happy. Um, and I think one of the big mistakes I made is I was way too, I guess, lenient with my team. and I did stuff for them
Mm.
instead of letting them, grow in their roles and make mistakes. I was afraid that they were going to be unhappy if they had a lot of work, if they were overwhelmed, and I would just do stuff for them, which did them a disservice. Obviously, I stopped doing that. I'm not doing it anymore, but it did them a disservice at the time, but it also did me a disservice because I did someone else's job, honestly, and kind of couldn't focus on my own. And then the final mistake, which I think is the most important one, is do not rely on one client if you are an agency. Please have more clients than one, because when that one client leaves, uh, it's going to be very hard.
Hmm.
So we had this one big client. We built our entire team for them. We built all these systems, all these processes for them, and we couldn't take on more work because all of our capacity was going into this one basket, and all of our people were onboarded on this one project. And then when that project ended very abruptly, uh, we didn't know what to do. We
Yeah.
kind of scrambled to keep the company even alive. We managed to do it, thank God, but it was very stressful. So if you are a content marketing agency or any kind of agency, please have multiple
Yeah. I
clients.
think for
Don't
any
rely on
kind of
one, no
agency.
matter how big they are. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Multiple forms of income streams that you
Yes.
learn
Yeah,
as a business owner very quickly. Like, yeah, definitely.
100%. Yeah. And so I will never make that mistake again. Even now when I'm kind of a little more experienced and I'm venturing out into the world and trying my own things as well, you just always have to have your fingers in many pies and just have that safety and security because, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to sound bad, but like we all work for money and we all have to survive, but
Yeah.
not just survive, but also thrive. And you can't be a good boss to anyone. You can't be a good manager if you are deeply unhappy and if you're unstable. So,
Or
um,
stressed.
especially,
Yeah.
yeah, or stress, like, especially if you're managing people, you have to provide that stability for them because it's not their fault if, you can't sell stuff and,
Yeah.
get new clients and get new users. Um, so that was a huge, huge lesson for me, very kind of early on, I guess, in the journey.
I had a similar lesson, you know, early on when I knew going into the business that I wanted to have a team. I didn't want to be doing all the work myself. Um,
Yeah.
and so when I first started hiring people, I would bring them on and I would interview them and I would just believe that what they told me they could do, they could do.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
this was right. I launched my business shortly before COVID. And so by the time COVID came around and all these people, brick and mortars, who needed an online presence or needed to create more social media or whatever,
Mhm.
um, wanted to send out email campaigns, that kind of thing. And so I had this influx and I couldn't do it all myself. So I was like, well, this is awesome. I need help. I need to start hiring a team. And so I started interviewing people and I had one particular client that needed an email campaign built, and this gal said she could do it. So I was like, all right, here it is. Let me know what kind of questions you have. And the deadline was like a week away. It wasn't like a super quick deadline. And
Mhm.
I checked in with her and how are things going? Well, I haven't had, a chance to do that much, but everything's so far so good. And then the day before the deadline, she emails and says, I can't figure this out. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Oh my God.
And this wasn't a
That is a
particular
nightmare.
right.
Yeah.
And so this was a particular
Oof.
email platform that I'd never worked with. That's why I hired her.
Yeah.
And so I ended up
Yeah,
losing
that
that
is,
client,
oof.
even though I explained to them what had happened. And, I was very honest with them. And we met the deadline barely. But it just wasn't the caliber of work that I wanted to, well,
Mhm.
sell. And so I
Yeah.
lost that client in the process, but it was a good lesson to learn, a valuable lesson. It hurt. It
Mm-hmm.
hurt. But what it
Oh
taught me
yeah.
was don't believe them.
Yeah. I know.
So I
Uh,
started really researching how other, not just companies in general, but female owned companies handled this kind of thing, especially now that a lot of people are remote and everybody's working from home. And so I came up with a process and it's been working great ever since.
I love
But
it.
yeah, so, bouncing that, you know, was, it didn't happen immediately,
Of
right?
course, it's a
It,
process,
it,
and
it took some
it's
time.
yeah,
What
yeah,
was it
yeah, and
like for
it's
you bouncing back
stressful.
from losing that
Number
big
one,
client? Yeah.
yeah, very stressful. That's number one, and then like I guess that was kind of the highlight of honestly several months of trying to rebuild something when it was already so developed and like very, very well developed and kind of high operation. Bouncing back was so difficult and so stressful. We literally had to, go back out and, start marketing our services again because we haven't done that in so long, because we just didn't need to. And it took us a while. There were some when you're in that position when you're, trying to rebuild something, you kind of, I guess, accept deals that are not perfect for you, and we definitely did
Been
that.
there too.
And we
Yeah.
did them, but it was just not,
A
not the
good
right
fit.
fit for our skill set, yeah, and our team and everything. So some of those initial deals didn't really continue because obviously it's just not
Yeah.
Yeah.
good for anyone. But over time, we as kind of our core team, my two co-founders and I, we learned that we just shouldn't really settle for anything. We have to be picky. We are good at what we do, and we don't just want to do it for anyone. You want someone who wants exactly you, who knows exactly what they want, who wants these results, and knows that we can deliver them. So it was definitely a process, but I think we are now at a place where we've rebuilt this audience, and now it's a lot easier. Obviously, we don't have one client anymore. We have multiple. We also have the SaaS. So we learned a lesson. We definitely are doing multiple things to keep the people
Yes.
happy, keep the people employed,
Hmm.
keep that security for them, and of course, continue to build on our careers as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
You
yeah,
mentioned you've been doing a lot of traveling. You were in Greece last week
I
and
was.
going to
Yeah,
Thailand
yeah,
next week. Is that for our promoting the
yeah.
company, or is that
Yeah, that's actually so we're going to this big SEO conference in Chiang Mai in Thailand.
okay?
It's in that community. It's I think one of the biggest SEO conferences. It's actually going to be my first time in Thailand too, and
Nice.
only my third SEO conference or any conference for that matter. So I'm very excited for that. We're going to meet a lot of people. A lot of actually our customers and our users are going to be there. So it's going to be nice, to finally meet someone in person that I've only met like through a screen.
Yes.
Greece was, I mean, we worked while we were there, but it was more kind of like a remote working, why work in Belgrade where we live, where we can go to Rhodos in Greece, where you have the sea and the beach and the sun. It's a little bit nicer. And it's honestly my favorite part about remote working. You mentioned, now everyone is remote, you kind of have
Hmm.
to be careful and everything, but I'm thriving. I'm never going back to the office, and it's just the freedom is unmatched. It's honestly amazing. So yeah, lots of
That's
travels, lots
awesome.
of exciting things happening. I'm honestly so grateful to be where I am and to be able to do all of these things that I dreamed of,
Yeah.
in my 20s when I was thinking like, am I ever going to be successful? And now it's happening. So it's just
And that's awesome, and I
grateful
think
every
that's the other
day.
thing, we should
Yeah.
celebrate when we are freaking
Yeah.
amazing and thrilled with where
Hmm.
we are in our life and
Yeah,
be proud of it.
yeah,
And, as women, we don't toot our horn as much or as loudly as men do. because we've been
True.
so
Very
our you
true.
know our, as a population to be quiet, don't be heard, don't be loud, don't be seen, don't dress
Yeah.
this way. So, I think that we need to help each other celebrate that. That's freaking
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely. Like, I don't know. Oh, I'm so sorry for interrupting.
you didn't.
no, go. I just was said, yeah, absolutely, and then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, because I don't know how it is, for you guys. Obviously, you're from the US and the culture is a little bit different,
Hmm.
but where I grew up, it was always like you have to be humble. You should not brag about what you do and whatever. It's mostly about kind of the husband is, the breadwinner and the successful one and everything. And so for the longest time, I mean, even now, I kind of struggle with saying like, hey, like I'm actually amazing. I did all of
Hmm.
these things,
Hmm.
and let's all be happy because you are also successful and you are successful, and we should lift ourselves up. But there's this entire culture of, you said it in the beginning, just kind of stabbing each other in the back, and I think it's because we were taught that, like you said, you need to be quiet, you need to be good and proper, I
Hmm.
guess. And I'm honestly kind of sick of it. So
Yeah,
I'm really
I think we
happy
are.
that
Yeah.
things are changing.
Mhm.
What you
And
kind of learn is with when working with that is when you silence us, it doesn't keep us quiet. It gives us a lot more wheel turning time. It doesn't always, usually 99% of the time, turn out quite the way you think it would for that hush moment, like hush, hush, I got this. But
Yeah.
it definitely gets us more in that strategic, quiet, deceitful. We were just discussing in a group that I was in um, that deceitful, that manipulation, that gaminess that comes from it. And then the next word is always
Hmm.
bitch. You're a bitch, And so it's
Yeah.
that game of that, and it's yes, we were silenced, or yes, know your place, know your lane, know where you
oh yeah,
belong,
that
and
too.
all of that. But the second I would start to feel that, my wheels didn't stop turning. I might have gotten quiet, I might have stopped, backed off, whatever, but that doesn't mean I stopped. That just means
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
movements were in the dark now. And most people don't understand that, where it's like, yeah, but you get us quiet and you get us, now everything's in the dark. You probably would have much rather that be all up front and out there and transparent, but it's
Yeah.
wasn't. So yeah, women played a different game in
That
business, especially in
that's
corporate.
a pretty good point. Honestly, I've never thought of it like that, but that is an excellent point, and I'm stealing that 100%
And I
next
think
time I
too,
talk about this.
women, we don't often realize that the reason that we default to that competitive nature and that cattiness is because we were, as women in corporate, I should say,
Hmm.
and in business as business leaders and entrepreneurs,
Still, yeah,
there are only so many seats at the table, and the majority of those
Yeah.
seats are the old boys club.
yeah,
And if there were carved out two seats for women, that means that all the women are competing for those two seats, and they're competing with other women, not
Yeah.
other men. And that's where that sense of competition came instead of cooperation.
yeah.
And then if we would help each
Yeah.
other um, get the right person, the better person, and this is a great segue into the next topic, but helping that person that's best fitted for that seat into
Mm-hmm,
that point position
Hmm.
of power, she can help the rest of us,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. 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 That makes sense. Yeah.
Um, so you built a software that to help hire the best person, and you
Yeah.
said in your words, not the most advantaged one. So explain that a little bit and talk about that whole process, because I find that so interesting.
I love that.
Oh, I would love to. Thank you. So, I mentioned before, I was a freelance writer for a very long time. And in this world of just content in general, there is this notion that if you're not a native speaker of English, if you're not
Mhm.
American, if you're not from the UK, Australia, you're somehow worth less. And you don't know what grammar is, you don't know how to speak or how to write in a cohesive and fluent way. And so a lot of writers from non-English speaking countries are severely underpaid. And so was I, honestly. And I didn't know, I didn't have that perspective back in the day. So I didn't know that I can actually price myself way higher um, than I have been.
Mhm.
And I was always kind of angry about that because, why am I have like a master's degree in English and everything. Why am I worth less than someone who was just born in the UK or the US, but never even, bothered to go to school to like study this language and discover it in different ways and doesn't even love it, as much as
Right.
I do. And so when we started hiring writers and editors for our agency, I really wanted to build our team in Serbia because I felt that there's a huge community here of people who are really good at what they do, but they just can't get the opportunities because I don't know if you know, but it's like a very small country, very insignificant in the grand scheme of things. And of
Mhm.
course, salaries are also very low. So your kind of only option to make a little bit more money is to work for a foreign company. But often those companies would not even consider
Consider.
you because you don't
Yeah.
have the right name and you're not from the right
Yes.
area. So that's how it started. And then when we made Workello, the entire point of Workello, it started as a tool for writers and editors. Now it's expanded to anyone. People are hiring developers and bookkeepers and video editors. I actually hired a video editor recently too. It's all the premise of pre-hire tests. So instead of hiring someone because they have the right name, they have the right birthplace, they have, I don't know, a really fancy portfolio, you can give someone a chance who maybe didn't have those opportunities because of various things. Maybe they're young, maybe they're from a country like mine, who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
But if you test them before you hire them, like that lady who told you, oh, I can do these emails, like maybe I'm not judging you or anything, by the
No,
way,
no,
but
no.
a lot of people fall into that trap, and I have definitely done so in the past. If you test them before you hire them, they prove to you that they can do this work, and you're
Yeah.
actually hiring the best person for the job. And it's not biased, and it's just, you're both happy. Like it's the
Yeah.
best deal for everyone, pretty much. So that was the main idea behind it. Obviously, the second main idea was that a lot of folks were struggling with hiring, like they usually are. And it's kind of a running theme in our community, in this marketing and content community, that, oh, I can never find good writers. It's like, no, you can. You're just not looking at the right places. You can't
Mhm.
be very narrow-minded. Just
Yeah.
expand your viewpoint a little bit, and you'll see that there are so many amazing people all over the world that would love to work with you, but they're just not in the right area. And does it even matter now when we're all
No.
remote
Yeah.
workers? You can be anywhere and do your job. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, that was the motivation behind Workello, and I'm super proud because we've
I bet.
helped people hire about 1,000, maybe even more new people, which is 1,000 new jobs, and it's I don't know, it's kind of my proudest moment,
I
honestly.
bet. And
I
you
love
should
it.
be proud, you know, when you create something like that from scratch and it comes from a place of genuine, um, like not just solving a problem, but creating uh, just a better climate,
Right.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
better
yeah,
culture,
absolutely,
because
Yes.
that's ultimately
absolutely.
what you're doing is you're building a company culture. And so it has to start
Yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah. And you
yeah,
hear
yeah,
all the time
exactly.
that the best way to kill a team's morale is to hire someone that the team completely felt unfit with, because you
Mm,
didn't see what was really going on truly in the dynamics of that. And that's not always, it's not always paying attention. A lot of it, sometimes it's harder. There are many people in corporate that behaved one way one day and another way another, who was around
Oh yeah.
kind of thing. So we would see things, but the people that needed to see it didn't see it, and there were things that would happen. So there's a lot of that goes on, and then you promote people like, well, they're the ones doing the best, and the whole team is screaming,
yeah.
and then they're like, I'm out, I'm done, I don't like this, it's, the parts this and this doesn't work. And so it's very difficult with the idea of that, like, in companies where they're not paying attention, they're not seeing it. So having that, it's just the best person in the moment for this job that we need to get accomplished to get done.
Yeah, 100%. But also, we do have this policy as well. I mean, you have to be vigilant no matter what kind of company you are. You know, yeah, even if they are the best, if they are rude
Yes.
or,
Right.
you don't hire them. So that's why I kind of stress to all of my customers, don't have the interviews before you have the tests. It's nice to meet people first and then give them the test second, but you're just kind of wasting both of your
Time.
time if it's not the right fit.
Yes.
It's better to just go through it like this, just test their abilities first and then see if they fit with your culture. Because if they don't, well, you have five more people who did your test amazing, and they could be your new whatever,
Hmm.
whoever you're hiring.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So would Workello be something that I could use as a small business owner, or is it meant for larger companies?
Yeah, it's actually meant for small to medium-sized businesses, and most of our customers are actually small businesses and various agencies. It really depends. A lot of them are also SaaS businesses, but yeah, it's absolutely meant for someone like you. It would be perfect because you just kind of build your workflow, and it automates a lot of the things that people spend actually a lot of time on, which is the communication. People ping you, hey, what's going on with my application? Have you checked out my
Mhm,
test? When's my
mhm.
interview? We solved all of that by building a candidate facing page that has a nice timeline. And step one is we get your application. Step two, you're going to take a short test, and then after the test, maybe there's a different test, and then after that, you're going to get an interview, and after that we send you an offer. So they have that, but also the every email is automated, so you're never leaving your candidates hanging, and that's kind of one of the biggest issues that candidates report all over.
Mhm.
If you look on Reddit or Facebook, it's just sending my CV into a black hole and no one's getting back to me.
Yeah.
And there are memes about it, and it's kind of like a funny thing now, but it's super
It
frustrating
is.
actually.
It is.
Yeah.
So with this, we're keeping your best candidates engaged, so they don't forget who you are. They constantly get communication from you, and they don't go somewhere else because they haven't heard back from you, because they're always going to hear back. And it's all designed to be one click for you, so it's honestly like saves a lot of time because you don't have to do anything by hand. It's almost everything is automated. And people who are solopreneurs as well have used it, never hired anyone in their life, never used any HR
Yeah.
tools before, but they figured it out. I mean, it takes you 2 minutes to figure it out. It's easy. And, now they have teams, now their businesses are growing, which is so nice.
Yes.
So
And,
proud.
Yeah.
if
Uh,
that isn't one of the main hurdles that I hear from clients, that, I need help, but I don't know where to start, or it feels so overwhelming, or
yeah,
so. And I
it
had one
is.
client already
Yeah.
in mind. I'm like, I think she needs this. So,
Nice. Well,
yeah,
let's
yeah,
let's get her on Workello.
uh-huh,
It is overwhelming. It's the entire industry. It's so ancient. I mean, it sounds bad to say, but it is a lot of um, HR content out there. It's I don't know why. I really don't understand. It's very old-timey still, and I think people are overcomplicating it, but it's not complicated at all. Like you just need to be a good employer
Yeah.
to get the best
Have
candidates you
you
can. But I understand.
have you heard
So
of the Peter Principle? Okay.
no,
I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole here in this podcast, but
I will
I'll
Google
just
it.
write that
Yeah.
down, Google it, and do a little research on it because I think that's the problem. I'll be honest with you. And so, anyway, um, was there anything else that we didn't touch on that you would like to talk about?
I mean, no, honestly, you guys are amazing. I really love the energy and all the whole like women supporting women.
Awesome.
I'm very excited and thank you so much, for chatting with me. I'm like
Absolutely.
very honored,
Absolutely.
honestly.
We're so glad
Yeah.
to have you. And
Yeah.
that's what it's about is that excitement of being there and helping and supporting and doing all of that. So we see it. And it was funny because you even got a little choked up when you're like, our businesses are growing. So you're so supportive of the people
Yeah.
you support too. And it just comes out. It's like flowing out of you. And that's exactly what
Thank
this is
you.
about, is just showing that. Like, yes, I get excited when my clients are growing and things are going right. I'm like, yay. And that's not a yay for
Yeah.
us, like that means more for us, but that's more a yay in general. Just thank goodness you're growing. It went well, yay. And
Yes.
it's genuine, it's
Yeah.
authentic. And I
Yeah.
love that because it was immediate, it came out of you. It was just like, oh, you kind of got tears. How cute is that?
Oh, thank you. No, but it is exciting, you when you help someone just grow in any way. It's amazing, and you also grow as a person whenever you do it, and you learn something new every time because everyone, every client or customer, everyone is different and they have different needs. So
Mhm.
definitely more of that. We all need to be better every single day, and um, this journey is kind of one of the ways that we're all doing it,
Yeah.
through business and through talking about it
Yes.
and just sharing our stories.
Yeah. That's for
We
sure.
need more of
Giving
that.
women a voice. I think I mean, I love doing this podcast, and that is why, because
Yeah.
we get to hear from each other, from other female entrepreneurs, from other women, and not feel so alone in our struggles, not feel so alone in the challenges or mistakes that we made. And also, the other really interesting thing is as we were researching for this podcast and making sure that, that there's a need for what we want to share, and there is. There are so many women
There
out
is
there
so much need.
that they feel alone. They don't have mentors and mentors to look up to. They don't have someone to go, hey, what do you think about this idea? Or, and that's one thing Laura and I do is we're like, hey, I was thinking about this. What do you think about this idea? And having someone that you can be vulnerable with and trust
Yeah.
and know that they're not going to stab you in the back with the information that you're sharing with them, because
Yeah,
we both had that
exactly.
happen as well.
Yeah.
And not letting it stop us.
Mhm.
um, the other really cool thing about women powered businesses is that we do more in our communities with what we make and how we do it. We give back to our communities financially, as well as just in our time. More female powered
Hmm.
businesses, volunteer, more female powered businesses donate, more female powered business hire from their community, and lots of really great positive things. So
Yeah.
awesome. Well,
Absolutely.
we were absolutely thrilled to
I
have you all the way from Serbia
thank
at
you.
1 freaking o'clock in the
Oh my God,
morning.
thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Honestly, I think my team's gonna be excited. I forgot to mention my team is like 80% women,
That's
and
awesome.
they are all amazing and so talented, and I'm just so honestly honored to be working with them, and and there's no cattiness or anything. Everyone's just
Yeah.
like so nice to each other, which
That's
is
nice. That's
oh
when you
so
build a good
perfect.
team, and you build, and you guys as the leaders, the company are setting that atmosphere as well. So that's just wonderful because again, it's that atmosphere. It's getting away from what used to be and making it different. And that, yeah, women are craving it, and they're thriving in those atmospheres where they're heard. It's a team. Everybody's got a piece of the
Hmm.
table. Nobody's cute.
Yes,
Yeah, no.
exactly, exactly. I'm excited. There's a woman on my team. She's 23 years old. She's insanely talented, and I told her like in a few years I'll be working for you, and I still mean it, and I know that she's going to. She started with us. She was very young. She was 19 years old. um, I know that she's going to take some of the good things that she, learned with us and take it wherever else she goes. And she's going to be the best boss to everyone. I just know it. Like, there's no way that's not going to happen.
That's awesome.
So I can't wait to see where she's at
Yeah.
in a few
Beautiful. I
years.
love
Well,
it.
Gordana has an awesome offer for our listeners, Laura.
Yes,
You
I
get she's
do.
giving us 10% off Workello subscription, and there is a code for that. So we will put that in the show notes. You can find it in there, and then go in there, sign up, take around, especially if you're a business owner, you have a team, whether you are hiring specifically right now or not. Definitely go check it out. See what it's about because it's important. It's one of the things that business owners think last about. So hiring is important.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. One of the things that we like to do on the podcast is have our current guests introduce the next guest, and it just to show solidarity and support for each other. So next week's guest is Danya, and I'm not going to try and say her last name because I do not know how to pronounce it. If you have a clue, Gordana, you go for it, girl.
I
Otherwise,
Googled
oh, good for you.
it.
For you. That's what we had to do with your
I know the
photo.
struggle. uh, so, sorry, Danya, if I mess it up, but Aussie. So Danya is a content and marketing strategist and the CEO of AOC, sorry again, Creative. She specializes in simplifying social media strategy and believes in giving away all the secret tips and tricks. No gatekeeping information around here. We love that. Of course, Dania has worked with some of the biggest influencers and brands across nearly every industry in the world, from Gary Vee, that we all know,
Wow.
and Michael Moore to P&G Ole, WeWork, Universal, and more. This is seriously impressive. I can't wait for your episode. In December of 2020, Tanya started the AOC. I'm so sorry. I actually did Google it, but I kind of suck at it now. OC Creative to help business owners with top-notch marketing without the medicine attitude price tag. And today, the agency's focus on supporting purpose-driven, conscientious business owners to change the world literally by helping them expand their audience through strategy and podcast production. And I absolutely can't wait for the episode. And Tanya, I'm sorry for butchering your name.
Hey,
I
I would
really
have.
do
We all
apologize.
would have struggled with that. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
know, I've had several names in the past, and sometimes they don't get pronounced okay, and nobody dies, nobody gets hurt. Uh,
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
fine. Yeah.
I usually just go, yeah, that's fine, because it just it
Yeah.
is what it is.
It doesn't matter.
I
Yeah.
had a person.
Yeah, we're very like the world is becoming more kind of multicultural, which I love, and everyone's
Mm.
more connected. So, from time to time, you're gonna find a name like mine that you're not
Or
used to, but
Danya's.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Danya is a beautiful
Yeah,
name.
I
I
do.
love
I
it.
love that. I love that.
Very
Um, so our announcement this week is the same as last week. Please sign up for our newsletter. Get on our email list for our weekly sneak peeks for upcoming guests. And we'll be sending out a monthly email full of free and discounted resources like the one that Gordana is offering today for your business. And that's it. That's it, folks, for this week. And we'll be back next week at the same time and day, Wednesdays at 6:30 Eastern. And we look forward to seeing you. Thanks for joining us. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.